What is going on, guys, and welcome to yet another episode of the absolute worst gaming series on YouTube, Gotti's Corner. This is episode 5, guys. To be quite honest, I didn't think these would get any hits on my channel. I consider a couple hundred hits doing well, and we hit that on the last couple episodes, so I figured we may as well keep it moving. There's a couple things I want to touch on in this episode. The first one being Returnal, how I feel about Returnal from what I've played so far. Obviously, I put it down and I went to Resident Evil, so I can't give like a full entire review or anything like that. But the vibes that I got from Returnal. See, a lot of you guys, I know that a lot of you younger gamers also appreciate the old aspect of gaming, so you can feel where I'm coming from here. So, with Returnal, for me, do I think it should have a save feature? I'm about 50-50 with that. And I say that because when I booted it up and beat the first couple bosses, what I took from that was, this is like old school gaming. I remember the old days. A lot of you youngsters aren't going to remember these days. Some of you that have, like I said, appreciated old school gaming and went back to retro gaming, you understand that back in the day, there were no saves. You had a number of lives, and you either beat the game or you didn't beat the game, which is probably why the classic Konami code for Contra ever existed to begin with. But that being said, that's what Returnal reminds me of. Now, the gunplay, is top notch to me. The visuals look great. I heard there was a rumor it was 1080p and then checkerboarded up to 4K or something. I could never tell it. I'll tell you that much, unless it's zoomed in 3,000,000%. The game looks crisp to me and clean. Now, the save feature issue. Do I think it should be added? I kind of do, because you got people that are scared to put their PS5 into rest mode. I get it. They don't want their PS5 crashing. I've had mine since launch day. Always used rest mode, never had an issue. You've got people with kids who may have to walk away from the game. They're going to have to shut it down. You got and let the kids play another game, a different game. So there's different things you got to look at here, but then you got to look at what type of game that it is. So there's a lot of different things. That's why I'm 50-50. I think it could be a good thing. I think it could be a bad thing for people that don't want the feature. So it's really just a toss-up, and I think that the developers are definitely going to have to, choose what they want to do there. Second thing I want to talk about is Resident Evil Village. I didn't show a lot of super quality gunplay or areas later in the game in this video. I did not want to spoil any type of areas. I'm not even finished with it yet. I just received my second freaking COVID shot, guys, and that thing kicked my ass for about 36 hours. No joke. Fever, cold chills, the whole 9 yards. It was absolutely awful. So it took me away from Resident Evil, and I was on a good run. So, not speaking of the entire game or anything, but as of right now, I'm telling you this is my game of the year, and there's just no other way around it. The level design is top notch on the game. The sound effects to me are top notch. I love the gunplay, but there are some things that I'll touch on later once I see how it pans out once the full game, once I finish the full game. We'll see how everything pans out, and I'll be able to touch on some things that I think could have went different. Another thing I want to talk about is the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Now, I would, just like everyone else, was super hyped, but I was super hyped for a different reason. I never beat Mass Effect 1. I picked up Mass Effect 1 on the 360 when it came out, and that game ran like an absolute piece of shit. I remember the frames dipped down into the teens, and I could never bring myself to finish it. That's back when I knew nothing about frame rate, and didn't even know what frame rate was back then. Called it slowdown. I think a lot of us called it slowdown. And it got so bad at points that back then I just put the game down. So I was sort of amped. I got to admit, I was amped. I was like, I'll buy this just to beat the first game and then play the second and third ones later. I already know how those pan out. I beat those. But after watching some gameplay and some streams, I gotta say, guys, I don't know if I'm interested in that game anymore. To say that it hasn't aged well would be an understatement. The crouching animation that I saw with Shepard crouched up against the wall looks absolutely ridiculous. The voiceovers, the sync, the lip sync looks absolutely horrendous in my opinion. But I get it. The story's still there, and it's still going to be that top-notch Mass Effect story that everyone loves, and that I feel like I need to experience. But I think that in order to do that, I'm going to have to swallow my graphics. What word am I looking for? My graphics preferences, because I love my games to look good, just like we all do now. And I'm going to have to accept the fact that it's not going to look that great all the time, and go back to it and play it. But I'm up in the air on it. I don't even know if I'm going to pick it up yet. Maybe during a drought or something like that, I can pick it up. But like I said, I never finished the first one because the slowdown was just so freaking horrible on that first game. New PS5 controllers. You see people on YouTube talking about everyone should shut up because you guys were clowning Xbox for having different color Xbox controllers, and now PS5 offers a different color DualSense. Let me tell you something. You never heard me say anything about Xbox having multiple color controllers. I thought it was awesome. I thought the design lab was awesome. So I don't really give a shit when it comes to Xbox and their 47 million different Xbox controller colors. So when I saw the black, and I believe it's called Pulse Red PS5 controllers, I thought to myself, I gotta have one of these controllers. I should have got the Pulse. I should have just bought them both, but I went ahead and picked up the black one. I think it looks super slick. Plus, it was cheaper. Sony knew everyone was gonna want that Pulse Red, so they went on ahead and they bumped up the price point on that controller. You can't tell me it took any more to paint that one and to whip it up over in Sony's workshop than it did to make the black one. So, I mean, it's different. It's a different color freaking dye in the press or whatever when they're making the shell of the DualSense. But anyway, I love them both. They both look really, really sick. So I went ahead and I pre-ordered the black one. But another thing I want to talk about, guys, is Ratchet and Clank. I've been seeing all kinds. That was my chair, by the way. No, I did not shit my pants, as if you could even hear it. But Ratchet and Clank, guys, I can't wait for Ratchet and Clank. I cannot wait. I've had a couple guys DM me talking about it running 1080p at 60 frames or something like that. And I think if it does, it's not going to be actually running 1080p. It's 1,000,000% in my opinion, and I could be totally wrong. I'm going to checkerboard up to 4K. It's going to look awesome. I can't wait for it. I recently played the first one. The one that was on the Pro that they remastered. Absolutely awesome. I beat that one. It was a while ago, probably over a year ago, but I loved it. So yeah, Ratchet and Clank, definitely psyched. We got a lot of games to play right now, guys. If you do love Mass Effect, you big Mass Effect heads out there, I can see why you would want to sit and play through all three of those. That's an awesome option. Ratchet and Clank, Returnal. From Xbox, they're about to drop a killer new... wait a minute. They're not. Xbox, please listen. Game Pass. It's the best value in gaming, no doubt about it. But when it comes down to it, what the true Xbox guys, not the ones that damage control everything you guys do, what the true Xbox guys out here in the world want is a beautiful new IP running on the Series X, so we can see what that bad boy can truly do. Sony's done that with Miles Morales. They're about to do it with Ratchet and Clank. Returnal looks awesome. We need this from you, Xbox. Bring back the Xbox of the OG and the 360 days. And that has been the worst gaming show on the internet. Gotti's Corner, episode 5. Let me know what you think in the comments section. As always, chime off, Did you hate the show? Do you like the way it's going? Either way, we'll be coming with an episode 6 as long as we can keep a couple hundred views and try to build from there. So I'm going to let you guys go. Chime off in the comment section. Everyone enjoy their weekend. Gotti 360. Keep it gaming.